everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. And I have a very special guest joining me today. And trust me when I say that he's been wanting to blog with me ever since 2019. So please, help me in welcoming to my show, Igor Solos.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here with Joshua Orro.
So, before we get started, how about a little backstory? Let's start by looking at Disney's animated film from 1998, Mulan. Now, I must be frank that while it is a pretty good movie with gorgeous hand-drawn animation, several memorable characters, and amazing songs, sadly, it's not one of my favorites when it comes to the Disney Renaissance era. Why, you may ask? Well, if you see my blog from 2015, I did mention that my main nitpicks with the movie were the mean-spirited traditions and for the sexism. Plus, her title as a Disney princess pretty much makes me scratch my head in confusion. But one thing we didn't know during our childhood is that Mulan was based on a Chinese folktale by Gao Miaoqun. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Also, after the first movie, Mulan received a direct-to-video sequel in 2005, which, to us, despite the fact that Mushu was kind of a jerk while trying to sabotage Mulan and Shang's relationship, it really wasn't that bad. Plus, Mulan got to appear in several things, like Kingdom Hearts 2, Epic Mickey Power of Illusions, and Sophia the First. Plus, during early 2009, my friends at Musical Theater Village performed a stage version of Mulan where I got to perform as one of Shan Yu's elite Huns.
But this last year, during this horrible pandemic, Disney made a live-action version of Mulan.
And of course, it's the subject of our blog today. Released at Disney Plus on September 4th, 2020, the movie is, well, Mulan 2020. So, let's get started. When the Emperor of China issues a decree that one man per family must serve in the imperial army to defend the country from northern invaders, Hua Mulan, the eldest daughter of the honored warrior, steps in to take the place of her ailing father. Masquerading as a man named Hua Jun, Mulan is tested every step of the way and must harness her inner strength and embrace her true potential. It is an epic journey that will transform her into an honored warrior and earn her the respect of a grateful nation and a proud father. So, what do we personally think of this movie? Well, in my opinion, ever since I saw it on DVD during last year's November, despite a few minor hiccups, I felt that this was a worthy remake, and there were a few parts that felt nostalgic and improved from the original.
As for me, I thought the film was more realistic than the animated version.
But to further explain why we think so, let's move on to Mustang notes. The film was directed by Nikki Caro, who previously directed films like Whale Rider, McFarlane USA, and The Zookeeper's Wife. Also, Nikki is the second female and the second New Zealand director hired by Disney to direct a movie budgeted at over $100 million. The first being Ava DuVernay, who directed A Wrinkle in Time back in 2018. The film's screenplay was written by Rick Jaffa, Amanda Silver, Lauren Hynek, and Elizabeth Martin.
Bill Kong joined as producer due to familiarity with Chinese culture.
Principal photography began on August 13, 2018 at locations in New Zealand and China and wrapped up on November 25, 2018. The visual effects were provided by Sony Pictures Imageworks, Weta Digital, Framestore, and Image Engine. Seth Morey and Anders Langsland served as visual effects supervisors, and Sean Andrew Faden served as production supervisor. Also to note, during the 93rd Academy Awards and the 26th Critic Choice Awards, the film received nominations for its costume design and visual effects, as well as a Best Special Visual Effects nomination at the 74th British Academy Film Awards. Now, the reason why we think this version of Mulan is a worthy remake is for several reasons. Firstly, the cinematography, settings, and environments are simply breathtaking. For example, the Imperial City looks absolutely grand, and Mulan's village looks pretty good too, though it kind of makes me think of the Shakespeare Globe Theatre in London. Also, we like that this version features the Silk Road.
But why do they call it a Silk Road?
Well, it's because people like Marco Polo use it to go to China to buy silk and other things. Also, there are several moments throughout the movie that are very interesting. For example, we like that this version includes the ability of Qi. For those who don't know what Qi is, or who have not seen Kung Fu Panda 3, Qi is a vital life force or energy that runs through all living beings.
Oh, kind of like the Chinese force from Star Wars.
That's correct. Also, some of our favorite moments in the movie include the training montage at the camp. We also liked the avalanche moment, which I was deeply relieved that Disney kept in this version.
Me too.
And I thought it was pretty nice and interesting that Mulan has a sister in this version, while in the original story, she has a younger brother. However, while this film still has the sexism and the tradition stuff that we still nitpick about, there are a few moments that were kinda embarrassing. For example, there's a scene where Mulan shares a cot with two men during bedtime. There's the lake bathing scene, and the matchmaker scene was okay due to the Qi part, but the part involving a spider kind of ruined that moment. Speaking of which, we need to make something perfectly clear as to why Mushu was replaced by a phoenix. You see, it's mainly because of the character's negative reception in China. But to be quite honest, we actually don't mind this majestic bird, because according to Mulan's father, Hua Zhu, who served as the movie's narrator, the phoenix represents the Hua ancestors, which we find is very interesting. Also, during several battle moments, which feel like something out of Lord of the Rings or 300, there are a couple parts where we see arrows being caught while flying towards their targets. And those moments were very surprising since I'd never seen that done in a movie since films like The Swan Princess or Princess Mononoke. Also, while this version is not a musical, some of the songs from the original 1998 movie are referenced in a few scenes, and during the film's musical score provided by Harry Gregson Williams. Plus, Christina Aguilera reprises her Reflections song, and she also sings a new song called Loyal, Brave, and True, both of which are sung during the end credits.
Also, Mia Wing, the original Mulan actress, makes a cameo in this film. Sweet!
And now that we're done with Mustang notes, let's move on to the cast. Our main heroine, Hua Mulan, is played by Yifi Lui. Mulan is the eldest daughter of Hua Zhu, who defies both tradition and the law by disguising herself as a man by the name of Hua Jun, in order to enlist herself in the Imperial Army in place of her ailing father. In our opinion, this version of Mulan is a lot different from her animated counterpart.
She's strong, she has faith and courage, and she follows her heart.
Plus, she has the potential to be loyal, brave, and true, as well as having devotion to her family. Next we have Chen Honghui, played by Yosun An. Chen is a confident and ambitious recruit who joins Commander Tung's unit, and he becomes Mulan's ally and love interest. To us, Honghui, even though he started out cocky and arrogant, he can be very confident and ambitious.
and he can be funny and kind-hearted.
Commander Tung, the high-ranking leader of the Imperial Army, is played by Donnie Yen, whom was in Blade 2, Hero, along with Star Wars Rebels and Rogue One. This character is a strict military officer, and he gives his recruits several tough training exercises and rules. But after witnessing Mulan's chi, he becomes a soft-hearted mentor. Next we have the Gang of Three, Yao, Ling, and Chen Po, played by Chen Tang, Jimmy Wong, and Doa Moa. Not much to say about these guys, except that they're the funniest characters in the movie, and they're exactly like their animated counterparts. Next we come to the main villain, Bori Khan, played by Jason Scott Lee, who played Mowgli in Disney's 1994 Jungle Book movie, and he voiced David from Disney's Lilo and Stitch. Bori Khan is a Roran warrior leader intent on avenging his father's death. To us, Khan is a very ferocious character, and unlike Shan Yu, he has more appearances, though his army is not that big, and plus, his way of fighting can be very dangerous. Our next character is Jian Yang, a powerful witch with shape-shifting abilities played by Gong Li. To us, she's very mysterious and manipulative, and she's also very dangerous due to her having claw-like fingernails, as well as having knife-shaped stars. Plus, her ability to shapeshift into a falcon makes her pretty similar to Diablo from the Maleficent movies. Plus, her backstory makes her pretty sympathetic, and her sacrifice made her pretty redeemable. Finally, we come to the Emperor of China, played by Jet Li, best known from the Once Upon a Time in China franchise. Like his animated counterpart, he's a wise, benevolent ruler who orders to prepare his troops within the Imperial Army to fight the invading Roran army. Also, after Mulan saved him, the Emperor rewards her by inviting her to join his personal guard. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, Mulan 2020, while not a great movie, is still a minor improvement over the original 1998 film, and it does seem to stay true to the original Chinese folklore. The cinematography is very amazing, and there are several moments that are interesting, epic, and nostalgic, and I think the actors do a pretty good job playing each character.
I also find the fight scenes to be very thrilling, and I like the use of chi.
So together, we give this movie an 80% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. I'd like to thank Igor Solos for joining me for this episode.
You're very much welcome. I hope I can do another vlog soon.
Me too, man. As for the rest of you, be sure to join me next Tuesday for my mother's birthday, where I return to the DC universe to look at Wonder Woman's live-action sequel from last year, Mustang Power. Oh, and to all my Chinese viewers out there, 再见!